We're joined now by Reverend Raphael Warnock, projected to be the first black senator from the state of Georgia. Reverend Warnock, good morning. Congratulations. You're making history. As I mentioned, what do you think made the difference? And is Georgia now officially a red state? Excuse me, a blue state, a blue state.
Listen, I'm wearing this blue tie for a reason. Good morning. It's great to be here with you. And I can't tell you how honored I am that the people of my home state, where I was born and raised and educated at Morehouse College, have decided to send me to the United States Senate to represent their concerns at this defining moment in American history. It's a time when people are suffering in so many ways. As a pastor, you know, I'm used to walking alongside people at their high moments and their low moments. And it's the honor of my life that I get to represent the people of this very great state in the United States Senate.
Your opponent, Kelly Loeffler, spoke last night. Notably, she did not concede the race. Do you expect a long, drawn-out process with legal challenges as we just saw in November in Georgia?
Oh, I expect to serve in just a few days in the United States Senate. And, you know, this is quite an honor. I'm someone who grew up in public housing. I'm one of 12 children in my family. I'm number 11 and the first college graduate. I know personally the difference that good federal public policy makes. I wouldn't be sitting here were it not for Pell Grants, low-interest student loans. My parents poured into me a deep sense of a work ethic, but it took good public policy along with personal responsibility to get me here. That American promise is alive and well. After all, I'm sitting here, but it's slipping away from too many people. And I can't wait to go to the U.S. Senate and bring the interests of ordinary people to that conversation.
Reverend, we got to talk a little more politics. Forgive me, the day after the election, black turnout was off the charts. Also, the president had spent the last 6 weeks disparaging Georgia's election system. And frankly, many Republicans in the state were worried that he was doing damage to Republican efforts. Do you think the president ultimately helped you in this race?
I think that Donald Trump did what he's been doing. And, you know, he's on his way out the door. I think that the people of Georgia heard a very clear contrast. I talked about how I intend to represent them. And my opponent was focused on how she would represent her own interests. And I think the folks heard that loud and clear. I mean, we are dealing with folks who are facing eviction. People have been waiting for months for relief. And they saw politicians play the same old games last week. We should have already passed this $2,000 stimulus check. And I can't wait to get to work, to put my boots on and represent the people's concerns in the United States Senate.
And on the substance of that, in the few moments we have left, when you look broadly at this election, it was decided by the narrowest of margins in your race. In the presidential race in the swing states, they were the tightest of margins. What message do you take from that? We have a very divided country. How will that affect how you govern?
Yeah, we've got to come together. And I have a lot of experience doing that. You know, I've been working for years on a range of issues from voting rights to criminal justice reform. I know is a lightning rod issue for a lot of folks. And some tried to make hay of that during the election. But I brought people together across racial lines, religious lines to work on these issues. And the fact that we're facing a global pandemic, a deadly disease that's taken 350,000 American lives. We're dealing with an economic turndown, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Great Depression. We can ill afford to be divided. And I hope to be the pastor among peers in the United States Senate to appeal to the better angels of our nature and to remind us that Dr. King was right. We're tied in a single garment of destiny.
Well, Reverend Warnock, thank you for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. Congratulations on your victory.